And welcome back, everyone. Ellington here, and we are back on Total War Rome 2. And this is a 3 versus 3 on the settlement of Zaramagatusa, or however the hell you say it. Somebody help me out in the chat, please. Tell me how you say this word. We have got ourselves, like I said, a 3 versus 3. This one was sent in by Rabbit. Rabbit here commanding Bactria on defense. For his allies, we've got Armenia being commanded by King Wa. And then finally, we've got Parthia, the mighty Parthia, with all their cavalry being commanded by Alexis Rubin. For the attackers, we've got some... suffice to say, this is going to be tough, guys. We've got Carthage being commanded by Razgar. We've got Galatia being commanded by Mr. Tumble. And finally, we've got none other than Rome herself on the battlefield, being commanded by Jose Uria. That's a tough matchup, ladies and gentlemen. 3 very, very good factions. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Armenia actually coming out with some Eastern Axe Warriors. Wait, Eastern Axe Warriors? This is a Rise of the Republic Armenia, isn't it? I believe it is. Yeah, see the golden armor. They don't get that in the Grand Campaign. So this is a glitched in Armenia. Okay. Whatever. Means they probably have pikes here somewhere, because the Armenian in the Rise of the Republic, or in it's not Rise of the Republic, it's oh my god, I just blanked. It's the late period DLC, and my brain is going blank. I'll think of it here in a minute. But anyways, Armenia gets pikes in that DLC. But because of all this cavalry, right? Parthia here's got what? 10 units of cavalry there. Even Armenia has 2 or 3. That means that right now, Bactria over here is in a straight double team. Parthia is nowhere near to support this. So if I'm Rome and Galatia, I'm pushing this attack hard. Because all you have here is Bactria. Parthia is way over here. And Armenia's got their own problems dealing with Carthage by itself. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Galatia-Rome combo versus Bactria, which, to be perfectly honest with you, is nowhere near as good as those 2 factions. So getting a double team on that is very, very brutal. Now, I like this play. They've got one of their pikes actually up here. And look at this. Galatia's archers are all the way over here. Carthage's archers are all the way over here. Rome's archers are all the way over here. So these pikes have free reign to just stand here and look pretty. And right now, Galatia can't push this side anymore. What can happen right now is you can see Persian light archers shooting into that. It is shield side, so not quite as brutal as a sword side shot would be, but it's still a good shot. Throw spears and thorax swords. Oh my god, look at this. 1, 2, 3 Galatian swords, 1 Galatian sword, but this Galatian sword's now getting shot in the back. Over on the right here, you have 1 thorax holding against 2 Galatians. Keep saying Galatian swords. Galatian legionaries, excuse me. But look at this, with Rome coming in on the flank, they just have to, I mean, there's no holding that. So they've got 2 units of thorax swords here. Oh wait, no, that's a Bactrian Royal Guard even. This could be tough. I'd bring this throw spear up here to get some good javies. Carthage now actually shifting his army over towards Galatian Rome. And I actually don't mind this that much. One, You have a guaranteed toehold already. We already, like, they already have a position they can get into. 2, all there is one faction fighting this. Number 3, it also consolidates their forces a little bit better. So with the combination of the Armenian and Parthian cavalry, if the 3 attackers are a little more well consolidated, they are less vulnerable to that cavalry. That thorax sword is so boned, it's not even funny. So they actually pulled back a little bit here into this street. I'm really, honestly not sure why they didn't just hold that originally. That Roman artillery has been firing, or that might be Galatia's now. Yeah, it's Galatia's now. Rome's artillery is already out of ammo. I don't think that he realized that his artillery was on fire at will, because he was individually shooting this, you know, boom, boom, boom. But all the while he was doing that, his artillery was lobbing full volleys just randomly over in this direction. That tells me that while he was shooting it, the artillery crew was also AI shooting it, you know, and wasting ammunition. First thing I usually do when I enter into the battlefield is I select all my ranged units. So, you know, your archers, your slingers, your artillery, so on and so forth, and turn off fire at will. Sometimes it's not even a bad idea to turn off fire at will on some of your infantry so that they don't waste javies, you know, when you don't want them to. But that's a little more, you know, micro than a lot of people want to deal with, so some people just don't deal with it. Because then what happens if you forget to turn it back on and you don't get a Javi toss and it's just, you know, it's not good. Now, I will say the one downside to them consolidating, sorry, I had to take a drink, that's why I paused, is the fact that now Armenia can bring his infantry to bear into a small location, right? So now, even though they are outnumbered 3 factions to 2, basically, they're still only having to hold them in a couple places, right? And now Armenia is here to back them up with their troops, so that should help. I think their biggest weakness is this spot right here because it's a very large area. You know what I mean? It's a big spot. See, this can basically be held by one unit. Same thing right there. This aqueduct, kind of throws things off in this position, so I think that benefits the defenders pretty well. Bactrian Peltis, I like to see those. You don't see those a whole lot. We do have a Greek Scorpion from Bactria as well. I think he's trying to set up to, yep. I think we just got a target there. Evocati cohorts, Praetorian Guard. Armored Legionaries. Praetorian Guard are very good, but they are very expensive. So it's a hotly contested debate on whether or not Praetorian Guard is worth it or not. They will get you kills. The question is for the amount that you pay for them, are you getting enough kills? I don't think I'm a huge fan of this Thorax being here. If I was them, I think I'd back this Thorax up along the wall. You know, maybe guard your position right here. But right here, I feel like they're a bit more exposed. The enemy has its own stairway to get to them. They can also get over to the wall. Well, the Thorax, I think, saw this, and I think that's what they wanted. And Galatia might be sweating, you know what, because of this Thorax. He's like, oh shit, my archers. And thankfully his wonderful ally Carthage saving his archers' asses. Evocati cohort has now, oh, he's taking losses, man. Do you see that? 29 kills. Now, I believe the Scorpion Bolt can go through 3 men. I could be wrong. I think it's 3 or 4, I'm pretty sure. But you also have a lot of firepower coming in from the archers. Parthian foot archers already have 131 kills. And a chevron as well. And they're out of ammo, though. Are both of these units at 86 kills on the Parthian foot is not very good. I guess I'm really just not sure why they're fighting for this. I just don't think it's quite as beneficial to them in the long run. You know, you have a much better defensible position set. Well, they could be. Maybe it's the Syrians here they're worried about. That might be why. It does look like Armenia is using formation attack. That's another thing that, remember I was talking about, selecting all units at the beginning of the battle, turning off fire at will. That's another thing. If you have units of formation attack, select them all, turn it off. Very rarely is it really that useful. There's some kind of like pro play type stuff you can get into with them, but in all reality, it's 9 times out of 10 not worth it. You have the noble Armenian archers here. I still haven't thought of Empire Divided, maybe? Empire Divided. That's the DLC. I was gonna say I still haven't thought of what DLC it is, but it's Empire Divided, which is like the later DLC. It's the later era DLC. So it's where you start getting factions like Palmyra and, you know, once again, like Armenia here, which is it's a very, like, almost Romanized Armenia. You know, they've got pikes and really heavy armor, you know. Because these are their armored axe warriors. Then you have the Eastern Axe Warriors. Not a fan of glitching in factions, but, you know, it's their game, I guess. And the thing that sucks is when let's say you're on the, you know, the host side, you don't know that your enemy's doing this half the time, because a lot of times the banner is the exact same as it is on the Grand Campaign. So you get into the battle and all of a sudden you notice, what the hell are these units? You know, I guess it's one thing if everybody in the lobby kind of comes to, you know, to the agreement that, hey, you can use any faction from any DLC, it's one thing. But to know you're going into a game, you know, kind of underhandedly, because they don't know that you glitched in a faction or glitched in units. So it's kind of cheap. And of course, with the chat being gone from the game, makes it harder and harder to communicate those things. I told you guys, this is the Achilles heel right here. And this is not looking great. And the problem is that they need Parthia to do something. And right now he really, I don't think, can. But that's the issue, right? Is he needs to do something, but he doesn't have an opportunity right now, which means that they are just getting bullied by 3, you know, upper tier factions in the game, 3v2, which is very painful. It's hard enough to do it, you know, if it wasn't Rome, Galatia, and Carthage, but it is. These Eastern Axe Warriors aren't a bad unit, so they should do relatively well. That is the other problem with glitching. There's a reason that glitching in factions is usually frowned upon. They are not balanced to fight each other, right? Units of Grand Campaign are not balanced with units from Empire Divided. So you get a huge disadvantage. But they are very good factions, so we'll see if they can pull it out. 179 on the Evocatis. Galatian Legionaries 117, 198. Syrians getting shot up by the mercenary Syrians of Bactria. Thorax Sword with 84. Both the Roman archers are pretty beat up. 84, 59, 34. Yeah, they've been getting beat up. It seems like he's kind of taking 1-1-1 fights instead of, 3v3. Carthage maybe looking to come over. Oh, it's on the wall. At first I thought that was a Carthage unit running along over here. And here comes the hordes of Parthia. It's going to be interesting what the attackers do at this point. They don't have the cavalry to fight it. They've got a companion cav and a noble cav. Companion cav is not an anti-cav. Notice has no bonus versus large. Your noble cav is not the greatest shot cav on the planet. And then all you have is your general's bodyguard. That's it. Galatia brought a Galatian nobleman, but they definitely do not have 10 units, 13 units of cavalry to deal with that. Balance power is shockingly in attackers. When I say shockingly, like a lot. It's far in the attackers' favor at this point. The Galatia glitched in an Oathsworn too? Galatia doesn't get Oathsworn. Pooey. Not a fan. Not a fan. Galatia is already a top tier unit or faction in the game. They do not need the assistance of having a top tier unit like Oathsworn. And also, fighting Pikes with Oathsworn is not going to win you anything. Pikes with 129 kills. You're going to get a couple kills, don't get me wrong. But they have longer, pointier sticks than you do. This Oathsworn is going to be, if it lives, is going to be very, very hurt. Maybe we're going to get a switch out. Maybe try and pull the Pikes and charge with the Cataphracts. Here comes the Parthians. Camel Cataphracts coming in. I'd say that was a solid enough charge to keep moving. They didn't get a lot of kills, but he knocked down most of the unit. There's the Companion Cav. But what is he going to do? You know what I mean? Like, you going to go fight 10 units of Cataphracts? They charged right in the back. And honestly, that's going to hurt the Thorax Pike a lot. Because now the Pike formation is broken by his own ally. Which means that now the Oathsworn are actually going to be able to get into that Pike unit. And the problem is the Cataphract really didn't do anything. Because what did he charge? He didn't charge the enemy. He charged his ally. And, 154 on the Pikes, though. 75 men left. That just swung that entire fight in the Galatia's favor. That's a big oof. I say it time and time again because honestly I think it's one of the most common mistakes that people make in games. Don't charge the back of your own men or your allies' men. Or it doesn't help you. Your charge bonus is wasted. All you do is blast into the rear of your own formation, breaking your formation. You waste that whole thing. Also, Parthia, don't use diamond formation. It's completely and totally useless in this game. Just a heads up. If you're going to, but anyways, if you're going to charge into a combat, move the unit and charge. Or if it's infantry, cycle charge. I'm just saying. Armenian pikes. I told you they'd have pikes. And they also have 66 kills. The Thorax pike does seem to have kind of steadied a little bit, but the Oathsworn still seems to have the advantage. 46 to 80, 106 kills, 181 kills. If I was Bactria, I'd be so mad about that. You had the perfect thing. The perfect thing to just stand there. You didn't have to move. You didn't have to do anything. The archers are miles away. Oathsworn's probably not going to beat you. And honestly, if Galatia was smart, he would have just walked away from this. And then your ally charged the back of your formation and obliterated it. Parthia coming in behind. Carthage kind of trying to do something, you know what I mean? He's trying. The thing is, a lot of the attackers are now into the settlement, so this is going to be harder and harder for the Parthian cavalry to actually get to do something. This continues to look worse and worse. Bactria does have another pike. It's just a standard pike, and it's already a bit beat up. Well, a bit. It's really beat up. Thorax pikes, 2 chevrons, 201 kills. But they're going to break. I told you. The Oathsworn is hurt, which I also said would happen. But it could be worse. It could have been better, you know, for the defenders there. Here we go. Eastern Cataphract's going to catch some Romans in transition there. They're out of formation, running. Doesn't seem to have gotten the greatest charge. Camel Cataphracts, 177 kills. So they actually did get in here and got some kills here. I don't... Where is... So they're kind of running along here. You can see the random camels running along. I don't know how they're getting through all this stuff, but I guess it is what it is. 189 kills. Bactrian Indian armored elephants coming in now. No shield wall by either Rome or Carthage. Cav Parthia is now going to commit now that they're distracted. 121 kills. 2 chevrons already. I don't think they were chevron coming in, so... Oh, my Lanta. And all the glories of Shield Wall will not be known today, apparently. 1 silver chevron with 460, 476. Wow. This is nuts. 509 kills. But honestly, I say this a lot. Very rarely does an elephant or a chariot get a lot of kills because the user did something super great, if that makes sense. Typically, if they get a lot of kills, it's because the other players did not do what was necessary to defeat them. Use their javelins, use shield walls, so on and so forth. Just be prepared, you know. Typically, it comes down to players not being ready for it, not maybe knowing what to do, and that is what ends up causing this. 889 kills. This guy might reach 1,000 kills if he keeps going at the rate he's going. Now, in this instance, I actually do think this is partially Bactria making a good move. The defender, or the attackers, excuse me, have been so distracted by this, and then even just the Armenian cavalry, that I don't think they were ready at all for that elephant to blast through their ranks like that. 963. I believe for elephants, I believe that means he's got... Oh, he just lost a lot. I think he has 5 elephants left now. Where are the rest of the actual elephants? Are they, is it officially gone now? Yeah, I think the elephants are gone, and unfortunately, oh wait, no, he's not. He's right there. So there's 1, 2. Where are the rest of them? 1, 2, 3. There should be one more, right? 992. Watch, Parthia is going to come in now. Parthia is ready. 998. 1,000. I called it. Burr, burr, burr. Even some of the other cav is getting involved here. The Bactrian Royal Cav. Mercenary Noble Fighters with 2 chevrons. That might actually be from getting some elephant kills, to be honest with you. The Bactrian Royal Cav 1-to-1 can definitely take the Noble Cav. Noble Cav with 3 chevrons. Once again, that might be elephant kills. Or it could be just some of the Cav kills, you know what I mean? 1,050, 60. Look at the balance power now. Completely shifted.
As you command.
Bactrian Royal Cav charged the Noble Fighters.
Orders understood.
134 kills.
Advance at speed.
Eastern Cataphracts 171. The elephants, it looks like, are officially gone. But here comes the Camel Cataphracts of Parthia. And he still has more. If I was him, I'd honestly bring a couple of those guys back in the gate. You know, operate from both sides. Samnite Warriors, 24 kills. Armenian Pikes, 104. What a change of pace. I told you earlier, the defenders needed Parthia to do something. And he did. It just came down to whether or not they could hold long enough for him to get an opportunity. Now, realistically, the backbreaker was the elephant. But the distraction of the cavalry from the outside opened that up like a can of worms. You know what I mean? That elephant blasting through, they were not ready. And also, I suspect that some of the players may not know that there are certain things you can do to protect yourself, like using shield wall. You know what I mean? I think that, in the end, was one of the problems as well. Why is there a... The Bactrian Royal Cav banner bearer was, like, walking along with the enemy. I mean, he was stuck, but it was just kind of funny to watch. Mercenary Samnite Warriors. I think that's going to be GG. That looks like army losses, ladies and gentlemen. Attacked in the rear. That's what she said. And that is it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some kills here. Starting out with the Glitched in Armenia being commanded by Kingwa. See, notice how all the look at these guys, then look at these guys. 2,266 kills. His Cataphracts did pretty well. Archers all did very well. Infantry did okay. Alexis Rubin was 1648. This is the Parthia player. 1648 doesn't sound like a lot of kills, but actually, if you look at what he deployed, because it was mostly Cav, that's actually a pretty good number. Excuse me, I burped. Rabbit, as Bactria, actually leading the entire game with 3,023 kills. Take this with a grain of salt. 1,062 of those was this. Triple silver chevron Indian armored elephants. His cav did pretty well, 193. Good job. Archers all did well. Infantry, they did what they needed to do. 204 kills on the pike, though. That's these guys' fault. I'm just saying. Well, this guy's fault, I'm going to say. For the attackers, we have Jose Uria 2000, 1820 as Rome. It's Rome. I mean, honestly, his infantry, for the most part, did very well. I think the Praetorian Guard is most of what got hit by that elephant. 317 on the Eagle cohort. Razgar as Carthage, 1,405 kills. Did not have a fun time. Unfortunately, I think he also is one of the ones that got blasted by the elephant and the cavalry at the end. Leading the attackers, we have Mr. Tumbles, Galatia, doing what Galatia does. Archers, not great. I'm just to be honest with you. And honestly, a lot of his Galatian legionaries did not do so hot. Galatia does not need Oathsworn. Does not need Oathsworn. Not a fan, but it is what it is. That is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time.